So, this Halloween season, I actually watched quite a few horror films and rewatched most of them actually. So, I actually kind of concluded my rewatch of Freddy vs. Jason. Um, I do have one Friday the 13th film to rewatch, and I have two Nightmare on Elm Street films, but overall I am done. And those two are my two favorite horror franchises. I forgot how good Nightmare on Elm Street was, but my number one will always be Friday the 13th. Now, um, I'm going to rank all of them. I haven't rewatched one of them still, but I'm good to go essentially. With I can really, I don't feel it will affect my ranking all too much. So yeah, let's begin. So I do have all 12 films, and there we go. So my number 12, my least favorite Friday the 13th film will have to be the. Just going to see if I can do something with the lighting. Yes. My least favorite one is Freddy vs. Jason. I don't hate this film. Um, it's just when it comes to the New Line films, I feel this one is least Friday like. Um, it is more of a Nightmare on Elm Street co-starring Jason Voorhees, and I don't like the portrayal of Jason here. I feel like this is the weakest Jason we've got. So yeah, moving on. So next one we have that atrocity. Now I am putting it over Freddy vs. Jason because I do feel like there's a bit more to it, and it can call itself Friday the 13th just a bit more, but it is still not very good. Alright, so this is the only film which I haven't seen this year. I haven't seen it in a while, and I will watch it, but I'm not in a rush. And this is Jason X. Um, Now this is surprisingly quite a lot like Friday the 13th. Well, as much as you can go with a film set in space, a science fiction horror slasher. Um, yeah, it's okay. But I treat it mainly as some kind of a weird joke. So, moving on. Now, this one is certainly my favorite from New Line Friday the 13th films, and it's the remake. Um, I do like how it is essentially very much like the real Friday the 13th again. Um, it's just, it isn't a part of the same franchise, but it's nice to see human Jason again. So the next one, the weakest one from the Paramount, in my opinion. Um, we have Jason Takes Manhattan. Um, Now I liked this one quite a bit before, but it just is. It's the worst one. I do see quite a bit of appeal in terms of it's so good it's bad. No, it's so bad it's good, but if you like it, it's fine. Now here's another one which I actually did like quite a bit before, but now after rewatching this, I don't feel like it's as bad as the I don't feel like it's as bad as the some of the other ones, but oh boy, it's not as good. Like I don't really enjoy the characters, and some of the acting is more hokey than I would like to it to be. So the and New Blood, the first Kane Hodder um, film. So yeah. Now I do like this one as a film quite a bit. Um, the, the reason why I'm putting this one so low is for it's very straightforward. Um, like there are two main reasons essentially. So it is Jason Lives, and I really like Jason Lives. Okay, um, as like a film quality and so on, I would really put it high. My problem is in terms of Friday the 13th films, I just don't like Zombie Jason. If you look at the first four or even first three Fridays, you will notice that how okay, sure, there are bits and pieces that you can say like, okay, this couldn't happen, but overall they are quite realistic, and this just you could sort of make the case with part four that okay, Jason, um, he didn't die. Maybe he wasn't hit as bad as to kill him. There's some way to actually, you know, kind of, argue against it not being realistic. With this one, he's a walking zombie. He was dead and lying in grave for years. It also breaks the continuity. Okay, I'm going to talk about the continuity, but in the fifth one, Jason was cremated, and in this one, he's suddenly in the grave. So, but I guess this one ignores part five. Okay, now, um, let's see. All right. So next one will have to be the original one. Now, the original one has several issues, in my opinion, but yeah, it is pretty good. Um, and I feel like there are two Friday the 13th that borrowed elements from this one and did it better. So I'm putting them higher on this list. So I know this one is a bit of an unpopular opinion, um, and I feel like this is good film, but I just kind of would rather watch the other ones, the other three, which are above this. And like I am not as attached to the characters in this one as many people are, and I get why it has a lot of following, but for me, I would have to say part four is my number four. I kind of want to watch this now because I just finished watching part three, and yeah, it is a good film. I just there are some things about it that make me not want to rewatch this one as much. So yeah. All right, my top three. Um, this one is really underrated. I I see people hating on it, but I really feel it's okay. It is maybe a bit sillier than I would like, but it's still fine. And that is A New Beginning. It is A New Beginning, yeah. Uh, the complaint. I mean, it is still. I do like how this is essentially still quite realistic. At least on surface, it is quite realistic, and I do love how because it does what part one essentially did, but it actually gives you clues, and when you are rewatching the film, even if you thought that okay it's Jason or it's Tommy, um, you can go back and see when you're watching the film and see, aha, there is this, which showcases that Roy is a killer. We don't have that in part one. Also, it is quite fun film. I I'm not really attached to the characters as much, but I just really like watching this film, and I just really like the atmosphere in it. So I guess that's my number three. Okay, so I was quite torn between those two, and those two are basically at the pinnacle of Friday the 13th for me. Um, but you here I have to say, uh, which one would I rather watch more often? And I feel like this one is maybe slightly better, but the other one, there's just something about the other one which I really like more. So I will have to say my number two spot is going to be part two. This is part one again, done better. Uh, I do like part one. Surprisingly, whenever I watch this, I actually remember how good it is. But there are issues with it, and part two takes what was essentially good in part one, in my opinion, but doesn't really take the bad stuff. So, and this one has the best final girl in the franchise. And basically, I would love to see a film which has Tommy Jarvis, Jeannie, and Tina team up to kill Jason. Um, so that's what I that's what I say. I would have ranked this one as my number one before, but I have to say I like part three more, and it stems from few small things. Now I know that the area of you know Friday the 13th changes between from part two and part three, and actually part the first two ones are closer to this New England setting. They were actually shot there, while three onwards aren't. But the atmosphere of the Higgins Haven, especially at night, oh my god, it's just amazing. I really dig it. I really, really, really like the characters. It has actually Shelley reminds me of myself from a couple of years ago. So yeah, like great. I actually really like Chris. The whole encounter with Jason she had really liked this. I actually had nightmares about Friday the 13th, which were probably, now that I think about it, inspired by this. This film, I don't know, there are few scenes in it that are a bit fuzzy, even on Blu ray, but there are really clear scenes that really look good. And it all has this warm atmosphere, and I just realized how awesome it is. Now it is really close to part two. So part two and part three are the two films I am most likely to just randomly pick up. Um, some of the other ones, yes, as well, but this and part two are the ultimate Friday the 13th films for me, and yeah, there we go. Fuck.